Sonnet 80 by William Shakespeare, 1564 to 1616. Oh, how I faint when I of you do write, knowing a better spirit doth use your name, and in the praise thereof spends all his might to make me tongue-tied speaking of your fame. But since your worth wide as the ocean is, the humble as the proudest sail doth bear, my saucy bark, inferior far to his, on your broad main doth wilfully appear. Your shallowest help will hold me up afloat, whilst he upon your soundless deep doth ride, or being wracked, I am a worthless boat, he of a tall building and of goodly pride. Then if he thrive and I be cast away, the worst was this, my love was my decay. So this is a sonnet by William Shakespeare. This is another of the rival poet sonnets, and Shakespeare's exploring his relationship with the fair youth and how he's now not the only poet writing about the fair youth, and with the presence of the other poet, who Shakespeare says is far superior to Shakespeare, he finds it difficult to say exactly what he wants to say. It's like the other poet is cramping his style. Oh, how I faint when I of you do write. So I faint when I'm writing of you, knowing a better spirit doth use your name. So it makes me feel really worried, really paranoid, because I know there's another poet, another spirit, who's using your name, who's using your beauty, who's using you as his muse, and in the praise thereof spends all his might to make me tongue-tied speaking of your fame. And he praises you with all his might, and this makes me tongue-tied, that I don't know what to say when I'm speaking about you, the fair youth. And Shakespeare says that he's concentrating or thinking too much about worrying about the other writer, and he's unable to accurately explain the fame or the beauty or the wonderfulness of the fair youth. And I think Shakespeare is saying that maybe this rival poet is doing it on purpose. This rival poet is spending all of his might, all of his energy praising you, and that is to make me tongue-tied, to put me in a position where I don't know what to say. It's almost like I feel I've got to say something better than he says. But since your worth wide as the ocean is, the humble as the proudest sail doth bear, so your worth, your value, is as wide as the ocean, and therefore it can support various boats. It can support the biggest, proudest, most important boat, or it can carry just a small, humble boat as well. And we're starting to hear Shakespeare in this sonnet is using seafaring similes and metaphors, and he's saying that you are so bountiful, you're so generous, there's so much about you that you can take various boats. You can take the words of various poets. My saucy bark, inferior far to his, on your broad main doth wilfully appear. So my saucy bark, my little boat, which that represents me, that represents Shakespeare, because I think this is Shakespeare talking to the young man, and Shakespeare saying my little boat, which is interesting. It's brave. It tries to do things, but my boat is far inferior to his. On your broad main doth wilfully appear. So I'm going to appear on your broad main. Main here talks about the sea, the wide sea. So it's going to be difficult to stop my boat appearing on your sea, because I want to write about you. And if you notice in this, Shakespeare's saying how fantastic the youth is, because he's got this huge sea, that your wide ocean, your broad main. It's saying there are so many good characteristics that it's that there is room for all types of poet to write about you. There is so much to you. And also Shakespeare is saying that my boat, my saucy bark is a boat, is far inferior to his. So I'm not nearly as good a poet as he is, but I do my best, and I'm here to write about you. Your shallowest help will hold me up afloat, whilst he upon your soundless deep doth ride. So even with the shallowest help, with the smallest amount of attention from the youth, this is enough to keep me dedicated, writing about you, while he upon your soundless deep doth ride. Where the other poet, he floats on the much deeper parts of the sea. So we've got a sea which has different depths, and again these different depths to the character of the fair youth are complimenting the youth about how wonderful he is. And the other poet is able to sail his boat on the soundless deep, on the deepest qualities of the fair youth, whereas Shakespeare it only needs the shallowest bit to be able to write good things, whereas the other poet calls on the depths and the deepest things about him. Or being wracked, I am a worthless boat, he of tall building and of goodly pride. So if I am wrecked, it's not important, because I'm a small worthless boat. I'm not important. Whereas he's an important person. He's a big building. And he is probably not going to be destroyed, because it's a much better boat. But then look what happened to the Titanic. Then if he thrive and I be cast away, the worst was this: my love was my decay. But then if he thrives, if he does well on your main, on your ocean, and I'm rejected by you, and you leave me and decide on the other poet, I'm happy to say that I died, I was destroyed because of my love for you, because of my love for the fair youth. So I'm happy to die, because of you, because of my love for you. I'm happy to fail because at least I was trying, and my failure was as a result of my love for you. So, one other thing I was going to say as well. There's one other interesting echo here. Shakespeare's talking about himself with this little boat, and he's talking about the other poet with his great big boat, and this bears echoes of the Spanish Armada, which has occurred quite recently. And the small British boats were much more easily manoeuvred and beat the much larger Spanish galleons, which were less manoeuvrable. So I think there's almost an undertone with that idea as well. So anyway, enough. If you enjoyed the video, give it a rating, subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you soon. Bye for now. Sonnet 80 by William Shakespeare.